letting go to receive. Most of us fear the future. The future exists beyond what we can see, predict, or control. It asks us to step into uncertainty, and uncertainty can feel uncomfortable. So we hold on. We cling to what we know, even when it no longer serves us. Sometimes we stay in jobs, relationships, routines, beliefs, or circumstances simply because they are familiar. They may not bring us joy, but they feel safe. They are predictable. But what if we looked at our lives through the gift of hindsight? Think back to a time when something ended unexpectedly. Perhaps you lost a job that felt secure. At the time, it may have felt devastating. Yet looking back, that ending may have opened the door to work that was more meaningful, more aligned, and more fulfilling. Maybe you stayed in a relationship longer than you should have because you were afraid of being alone. You feared what might happen if you let go. Yet when you finally released what was no longer meant for you, you created space for a deeper connection, greater self-love, or a relationship that reflected who you had become. Life has a way of teaching us that endings are often beginnings in disguise. The challenge is that we rarely recognize this when we are standing in the middle of the transition. We want guarantees. We want certainty. We want to know exactly what comes next before we are willing to take the leap. But growth doesn't work that way. We cannot receive with full hands. We cannot grow if we remain buried in the darkness of what is familiar. We cannot discover new horizons if we never leave the shore. Nature reminds us of this truth everywhere. Trees release their leaves each autumn, trusting that spring will come again. Seeds must crack open before they can become flowers. Caterpillars must surrender its old form before it can become a butterfly. Transformation always requires release. What if, instead of fearing the unknown, we became curious about it? What if we shifted our perspective from, what if everything goes wrong, to what if something beautiful is waiting for me? What if the closed door isn't a punishment, but a redirection? What if the thing you're being asked to release is simply making room for something better? Trust doesn't mean you know exactly where you're going. Trust means taking the next step anyway. Sometimes life asks us to do a blind trust fall, to loosen our grip, to stop trying to control every outcome, to trust that there is wisdom at work beyond what we can currently see. And perhaps when we finally let go, we discover what was true all along. The universe has been supporting us every step of the way. The next chapter cannot arrive until we create space for it. Take a breath. Release what no longer belongs in your story. Open your hands. Open your heart. You may find that what is waiting for you is far greater than anything you are trying to hold on to.